the 2nd of February 2026. I'm a DJ and producer of many years, and when I was growing up I listened to old rave tunes, and I've got one playing in the background now. And every old person thinks that their generation is best. So if you grew up in punk and you like punk, you'd say why punk is so good. And if you like jazz, you'd say everyone's ripping you off. And if you're in hip hop, you would have sampled beats and you'd think hip hop's the best from your era and hip hop's rubbish when it gets to mumble rap. And if you're into the next thing like rave, it was sped up hip hop beats and sample beats. But I do notice that in these old tunes like this, there's innovation. So I hadn't heard this stab before I heard this tune. I don't know what the beat is that's playing. The rhythm of the beat is different to everything else, and then for some reason we go into an era where things are the same. So when Acid House was new, it was obviously not done before, and when certain tunes come out, they're new, and when things get done again and again, they become slightly boring. So I'd like to sort of point out on Release Radar where we're doing interesting stuff or not doing interesting stuff. So let's have a look. Release Radar is of course what Spotify makes for you as a playlist to see if you'd like it. So Satisfaction Skank High Contrast remix. This is a Fatboy Slim that High Contrast has remixed. Let's see what happens.
Right about now. Check it out now. Right about now. Check it out now. Right about now. No. I can't get low. That's what I say. That's what I say. Hey. No. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, Funk Soul Brother.
So, obviously nothing's new in this, but it makes a very pleasing output, doesn't it, as a drum and bass thing? Don't know what the drop's like. It'll get there eventually. Cool. I like that a lot. I'm going to add it to my Chondo Says Drum and Bass playlist. Next, Club Bazaar by Alok, Faithless, Sam Harper and Alex Christensen, which is a lot of people. Oh my goodness. Dun dun dun, ba bum ba bum.
Where the crazy people meet on the street with no name. If you wish upon a star, here's the place, Club Bizarre. Come together in a dream, me and you.
How do they fit in 10 writers? I suppose it's a rip-off, isn't it? So it's a new track with da-da-da-da-da-da-da and Faithless over the top. I actually quite like this. Dun, dun, bam, ba, bam, ba, bam. Good. Okay. Embrace Road to Nowhere. So I really like Ashes by Embrace. But if you listen to more Embrace stuff, Danny McNamara, is that his name? A few credits. Danny McNamara is not the greatest vocalist. And once you know it's a sort of nervous tuning situation, it's I find it quite hard to listen to. A bit like Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas. Once she wet herself on stage, it was difficult, wasn't it? What happened to the drums here? Listen to the drums. So listen to how far behind the snare is behind the crash.
You say you're scared to leave me, but it hurts too much to stay.
This is a bad mixdown.
And in your words gives you away. When I say this song's about you, and you tell me it's a phase, and we will never change. And no, I'm never gonna leave you, and you'll never be alone. 'Cause we're on the road to nowhere, but at least we're going home. And I don't know which direction, but I know that I belong on the road that's going nowhere. If you say you'll come along, whoa.
So if you're a producer watching this, and happily this is a record I can talk about because I don't know anybody involved, here's some mixdown tips. When you finish your track, listen using a multiband compressor, and then solo the different bands, and then you can see the differences in areas. So it's not that this is a dull master, it's that the crash and certain sounds are louder than everything else in the top end, which makes everything else dull. If the crashes were less bright, then everything else could be brought up to make sense, but
If we're created equal, why don't you feel the same? If you were dying, I'd open up perfect.
and then the next thing I would say if you're a mixing person is if you compress things more than you think you need to in the mid-range, not drums, never drums, I'm talking about vocals. Drums in dance music are a very certain thing, they're a certain thing, aren't they? They're playing back as samples, but drums in this music obviously come and go, so you would need to compress these drums. But in dance music, it's usually the vocals which come and going a lot against very solid steady drums. So you have to compress the vocals more than you think. And what's happening in this record is the guitars and stuff sound quite strong, and the vocals are coming and going in front of them and behind them. So this actually sounds like quite a good record, but the mixdown's not cool. And then at the top end, you should have your drums leading the sounds in a track. It always sounds bad when sounds come past drums, or the crash is louder than the main beat. It's almost amazing, but unfortunately it's a slight disaster.
You say you're scared to leave me, but it hurts too much to stay. And with my foot, which direction? But I know that I belong on the road that's going nowhere. If you say you come along, whoa.
Okay, so priorities. Listen to, so you got things which should be really stable and leading. So drums temporarily come through sounds. So you want to do them very cleanly and reliably. And then you've got priorities in the sound. So the vocal needs to lead, the guitar's further back. So what you don't want is slightly dull drums with reasonable vocals, with crashes which come over the top, and then a guitar which comes and goes, hello, every now and again. So now, with that in mind, think of the priority of the guitar versus the vocals. Sounds like they've had a real problem with the mix down, and if all of the vocals were in a vocal group and they just got them slightly brighter and more solid and the drums were more solid, then everything would be better. But it's not. It's the sort of thing I'd like to remix, but having told everybody how bad the mix down is, I doubt that will ever happen. Might do a bootleg of it. They can very angrily take it down. Okay, next, Guardian Angel, Ben Nicky remix. Guardian Angel is my favourite song of last year. It's by Dimension, Karen Harding, and Ben Nicky's remixing it. I haven't heard this. Guardian Angel is a Dimension track, and he had a sampled vocal from somewhere because it had been out 2 years before through somebody else, and it made an amazing chorus. And then they replaced the badly sung sample with a very good Karen Harding vocal. I've worked with Karen Harding. It was at about the time there was a Tom Hardy thing on TV about shipping. Sounds ridiculous. Taboo, it's called. And that was our topic of conversation, I remember, in the studio. Anyway, this is the Ben Nicky remix of Guardian Angel. And you'll notice that sample, that's the sampley vocal. And when you hear the Karen Harding vocal, it's not auto-tuned like that.
Never dream Tuesday night. Wake up with the sun in my eyes and maybe love will shine down.
And this has been slowed down from the drum and bass to make whatever this is.
Like a ghost in the night. A shadow deep in the dark. And I was like, I know you. Have you come to take me back? All the flames still burning on my sins. Don't know where to end or to begin. Lay me down, 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 down.
If you're used to the drum and bass vocal, this is quite slow. It's painfully slow, isn't it? This is probably the best thing that could happen to this track in terms of a slower remix. We got a clap. Yes, really good work from Ben Nicky. Shame it's had to be sort of slowed down. A Utopia by Dan Stone. Dan Stone's done some amazing tunes. My favourite Dan Stone tune is with Victoria. It's called I Can't Tell. Here's a new one. Oh. Love this. This is amazing. Some weeks I go through Release Radar, I almost despair at the terrible things in there. This is the best week ever. Yeah, amazing work, Danstone. Played that for far too long. Wild Girl, Tengu and Aislinn remix, and you'll notice 4 Jesse Loki. So 4 is me and Gavin. In this case, Jesse Loki is an Australian producer. Tengu is works with us a lot, and so does Aislinn. So together, this happens. And this is a great remix, which you should definitely check out.
It's been a good time, dancing on the edge of the stair.
And there's the other way round to the Guardian Angel. This has also been sped up to get into drum and bass rather than coming from drum and bass and being slowed down. You can't tell that I'd listened to this on a really good sound system, but this is great fun. Okay. Tom Le Chef is actually a chef.
This is how we do it, come on.
Interesting listening in here to the master. Anyway, Kick It, DJ Kurt, Power Stomp Remix, Vinyl Groover, The Collective, and DJ Kurt.
Kick it!
I think this is old. Yeah, I think it's an older DJ Kurt remix of a track, which is fun. Not my kind of thing, really. Into Outer Space by CLSM, me again, and Hang the DJs. Hang the DJs are a DJing duo, if you haven't heard of them, which you probably have, who go and have fun DJing. Here we go. This is called Into Outer Space. And my favourite bit of this is the piano. I actually extended the piano section when I was doing it, and their feedback was, so I wrote the original stuff and the riffs, piano, sent it over to them. They made the whole track and then sent it back for me to finish. I added a couple of sounds and re-engineered some of my stuff, which wasn't so good to start with. Now, I extended the piano section, then they said, no, that's no good. So there's less piano than I would like. But that's what collaboration's about. But check out this piano. Hold on.
Let's get going into outer space.
So only lasts for 8 bars in the drop, but that's Into Outer Space, which is the title track from the CLSM album, which is out on the 20th, so only 18 days to go, which must mean 2 weeks on Friday till the next CLSM album. I've been putting clips up on my social medias where you can see some of the other tracks. And this next one's Eternity by Wilkinson, who I think that's a store with red and white writing, and then Muglita.
I was looking for beyond. Lost inside a world gone wrong. Ran on the empty roads. Just to find you. Reunion. Let the fire burn in your eyes. Tell me now what comes between us. Eternity, eternity. Tell me the truth. Let the fire burn in your eyes. Tell me now what comes between us.
I think Road to Nowhere by Embrace is probably the best song. Utopia by the Dan Stone is the best tune. Satisfaction and Club Bazaar are covers, aren't they? Guardian Angels a remix. Wild Girls a remix, very good remix. Kick It's old. Into Outer Space is new. Yeah, I think Utopia by Dan Stone wins this week, so congratulations to him. I will be sending him an award through the post.